Balerion was the largest dragon in living history and was rode by Aegon the Conqueror himself. He was the most powerful dragon seen by Westeros and was a key part in uniting it.
Balerion was named after an ancient god of the Valyrian people, reflecting the rich and mystical heritage of his birthplace. When the Doom of Valyria, a catastrophic event that led to the downfall of the Valyrian freehold, occurred, Aegon Targaryen foresaw the impending disaster and decided to relocate to the island of Dragonstone with his family and their dragons. Balerion was among the 5 dragons that Aegon brought with him, making the perilous journey across the narrow sea to escape the destruction of their homeland. As the Targaryens settled on Dragonstone, the other 4 dragons eventually perished, leaving Balerion as the sole survivor and a witness to the end of the Valyrian civilization. This made him a unique and historical figure, as he was the last living creature to have experienced the grandeur of the Valyrian freehold.
Balerion was eventually claimed by Lord Aegon Targaryen, sometime before he married his sisters Visenya and Rhaenys. Aegon became involved in the wars in the disputed lands when Pentos and Tyrosh approached him, inviting him to join a grand alliance against Volantis, and he chose to heed their call. Mounting Balerion, he flew east to meet the Prince of Pentos and the Magisters of the Free City, then flew to Lys in time to set ablaze a Volantene fleet trying to take the city. Afterwards, Aegon turned his attention to conquering the 7 kingdoms, during which he flew on Balerion. Aegon descended on Lords Muton and Darklyn, killing both of them during Aegon's first test. After the Ironborn victory at the Wailing Willows, Balerion burned the victors on the God's Eye. Next, Aegon took Balerion to Harrenhal, where Harrenhal, king of the Isles and the Rivers, had taken refuge in his formidable fortress. When Harren the Black had not yielded by sunset, Aegon took Balerion high up and descended inside the castle walls, putting the new castle to flame. Aegon next rode Balerion in the Field of Fire, besides his sisters on Vhagar and Meraxes. Between the 3 dragons, 4,000 men were burned to death, including Mer Ninegartner, king of the Reach, resulting in Targaryen victory. When Aegon learned that Torrhen Stark, king in the north, had crossed the neck and was leading an army into the Riverlands, he raced ahead of his army on Balerion to meet the threat. When the Targaryen host was encamped at one side of the Trident and the northern host on the other side, Torrhen's bastard brother, Brandon Snow, offered to assassinate the sleeping dragons. Recalling the destruction the 3 dragons had caused at the Field of Fire, Torrhen instead submitted to Aegon. After Aegon was crowned by the High Septon, he was cheered by tens of thousands of onlookers as he flew on Balerion through the streets of Old Town. Aegon flew Balerion during the First Dornish War, finding Sunspear abandoned when he arrived. Dorne rose in rebellion after he departed, however, and Lord Orys Baratheon was mutilated by the Will of Will. Aegon retaliated by burning several of House Will's keeps, and the king later attacked Sandstone, Vaith, and the Hellholt with the aid of Visenya. Aegon burned Skerich after House Fowler attacked Nightsong. During the 2 years of the Dragon's Wrath following the death of Rhaenys Targaryen, each Dornish castle, with the exception of Sunspear, was burned multiple times by the vengeful Aegon and Visenya. King Aegon made frequent royal progresses throughout the 7 kingdoms. Besides allowing the new monarch to learn more about his subjects, the sight of Balerion during these visits also helped to prevent rebellion.
After the death of King Aegon I Targaryen, Balerion was claimed by his younger son, Prince Maegor, who had long coveted his father's mount and had not claimed another dragon because he considered all others unworthy. After Jonos Arryn imprisoned his brother Ronal, Lord of the Eyrie, and declared himself independent of the Iron Throne, Maegor rode the Black Dread to the Vale of Arryn and put down his rebellion. When Maegor was exiled to Pentos as punishment for his polygamous marriage, he took Balerion with him. After the death of his elder brother, King Enisi, Maegor flew back to Westeros on Balerion to claim the Iron Throne. During the Faith Militant Uprising, King Maegor used Balerion in the burning of the September of Remembrance and in the battle at the Great Fork of the Blackwater Rush. In the Westerlands, the king burned the seats of Houses Broom, Doggett, Falwell, and Lorch. Maegor threatened to attack Old Town as well, but the city opened its gates to the king after the unexpected death of the High Septon. In the battle beneath the God's Eye, Maegor used Balerion to kill his nephew Prince Aegon and his dragon Quicksilver. After the completion of the Red Keep, Maegor began construction of the Dragon Pit to house Balerion, Vhagar, and other dragons. After Maegor's death, Balerion returned to Dragonstone.
In late 54 AC, Princess Aeria Targaryen claimed Balerion from the yard of Dragonstone one morning. They disappeared and went missing for more than a year. King Jaehaerys I Targaryen sent expeditions to try and locate Balerion and the young princess, and the Master of Coin, Rigo Draz, offered a reward for any information on their whereabouts, but none came forward that were credible. Balerion was the largest living dragon in the world, but there were no sightings of the dragon anywhere. Septon Barth believed that the lack of sightings suggested that Balerion was no longer in Westeros. Barth's accounts describe wounds and half-healed scars on Balerion. The dragon bore a huge jagged rent down his left side, almost 9 feet long, and fresh blood still dripped from the wound, hot and smoking. Barth speculated that, when Arya claimed Balerion, she was unable to bend the dragon to her will, and instead the dragon had taken her to the place he had been born, Valyria. Shortly thereafter, Balerion became the first dragon to be housed in the dragon pit, where he was guarded by the dragon keepers. The last rider of Balerion was Prince Viserys Targaryen, who entered the dragon pit to claim the dragon in 93 AC. Balerion was hard to rouse and struggled when Viserys urged him into the sky. They flew around King's Landing 3 times, although Viserys later confided to his father that he had originally intended to fly Balerion to Dragonstone. However, fearing the dragon lacked the strength to do so, Viserys had opted otherwise. Along with 18 other Targaryen dragon skulls, Balerion's skull hung on a wall in the Red Keep's throne room. There is a picture of Balerion the Black Dread, done in colored inks, in the book Dragonkin, being a history of House Targaryen from exile to apotheosis, with a consideration of the life and death of dragons, written by Maester Thomax. Balerion played a key part in Aegon's conquest and helped in establishing a 300-year Targaryen rule in Westeros.